You were told that if you study hard, work hard, and save money, you will build wealth. You followed every rule. You did everything right. And yet here you are. Not broke exactly, but nowhere near where your intelligence should have taken you. While people around you who seem less capable, less educated, less disciplined are somehow building things you cannot explain. And the worst part is not the money. The worst part is the question you cannot stop asking yourself. If I am this smart, why am I still here? The answer has nothing to do with your intelligence. It has nothing to do with your work ethic. It has everything to do with something that was installed in you long before you ever earned your first dollar. A set of invisible beliefs about money so deeply embedded in your psychology that they operate below the level of conscious thought. They do not announce themselves. They do not argue with you. They simply shape every financial decision you make, every opportunity you pursue, and every limit you accept without question, while you believe you are making rational choices. Psychologists call this a money script. It is the story you were taught about money before you were old enough to question whether the story was true. If you grew up in a household where money was always scarce, your brain learned that scarcity is the natural state of financial life. If you grew up hearing that rich people are greedy or corrupt, your brain quietly decided that becoming wealthy would make you a bad person. If you were taught that wanting more money is shallow or materialistic, your brain built a ceiling into your ambition that your intelligence cannot break through because the ceiling is not made of circumstance. It is made of belief. And beliefs, unlike circumstances, cannot be changed by working harder. The brilliant economist John Kenneth Galbraith once observed that the function of economic forecasting is to make astrology look respectable. He was making a point about how confidently intelligent people hold wrong beliefs about complex systems. Smart people are not immune to wrong beliefs about money. In many cases, they are more vulnerable to them. Because intelligence gives a person the ability to construct elaborate justifications for beliefs they were never willing to examine. A smart person with a poverty mindset does not think they have a poverty mindset. They think they have a sophisticated critique of materialism. They think they are above the pursuit of money. They have an entire intellectual framework built around a belief that is quietly keeping them exactly where they are. Now imagine this. Two men graduate from the same university with identical grades in the same field. The first comes from a family where money was discussed openly, where investing was considered normal, where wealth was seen as a tool rather than a moral statement. He graduates and immediately begins treating his income as a system to be managed. He invests early, takes calculated risks, and when he fails financially, he treats the failure as data rather than identity. The second man is equally intelligent, equally hardworking, but he comes from a family where money was always tight, always stressful, always a source of conflict. He graduates and unconsciously recreates the financial environment he grew up in. Not because he is lazy, not because he lacks skill, but because his nervous system was calibrated in childhood to treat financial scarcity as normal and financial abundance as foreign, uncomfortable, and somehow not meant for him. Every time he gets close to a financial breakthrough, something inside him finds a way to return to the familiar discomfort of just getting by. Psychologists call this behavioral pattern self-sabotage. But a more accurate description is this: he is not sabotaging his success. He is protecting his identity. Because at the deepest level of his psychology, success and wealth are not who he is. And the mind will always sacrifice the bank account before it sacrifices the identity. This is the mechanism that intelligence cannot override on its own. You can be the smartest person in the room and still be unconsciously loyal to a financial identity that was formed before you had any choice about what you were being taught. The loyalty is not logical. It is emotional. It is neurological. It is the brain's insistence on maintaining consistency between who you believe you are and what your life reflects back to you. There is also a second trap that catches smart people specifically. It is called analysis paralysis. The smarter you are, the more variables you can identify in any decision. The more variables you can identify, the more risk you can see. The more risk you can see, the more reasons you have to wait, to research more, to prepare more, to be more certain before you move. While less intelligent people take imperfect action and learn from it, the smart person is still building the perfect model of the action they have not yet taken. Warren Buffett has spoken about this directly. He has said that the most dangerous words in investing are, "This time it is different." But the second most dangerous behavior is the permanent preparation that never becomes action. Wealth is not built in spreadsheets. It is built in decisions made with incomplete information by people willing to be wrong on the way to being right. The third trap is the most invisible. Smart people tend to trade time for money at a premium rate and consider themselves successful for doing so. A high salary feels like financial success. A prestigious job feels like financial achievement. But trading time for money, no matter how high the rate, is still trading a finite resource for an infinite need. The wealthy do not earn more per hour. They build systems that earn while they sleep. They invest in assets that appreciate. They create value that exists independent of their presence. The difference between a high-earning smart person and a wealthy person is not income. It is the understanding that income is not wealth. Income is the starting material. What you build with it determines whether your intelligence actually converts into financial freedom or simply into a more comfortable version of financial dependence. So here is what you do with this. 3 things. First, identify your money script. Write down the 3 beliefs about money you heard most often growing up. Examine each one, not as a truth, but as a hypothesis. Ask whether the evidence of the world supports it or contradicts it. Most people have never questioned the financial beliefs they operate from because those beliefs arrived before they had the capacity to question anything. Second, take one imperfect financial action this week, not the perfect action, not the fully researched action. One real step towards something you have been analyzing instead of doing. The gap between where you are and where your intelligence could take you is not filled by more thinking. It is filled by action taken despite incomplete certainty. Third, stop measuring your financial progress in income and start measuring it in assets. What do you own that will be worth more next year than it is today? What have you built that earns without requiring your constant presence? These are the questions that separate the financially intelligent from the financially free. Your intelligence is not the problem. It never was. The problem is that your intelligence has been working in service of beliefs you never chose and a financial identity you never consciously built. Change the beliefs, change the identity, and then watch what your intelligence can actually do when it is finally pointed in the right direction. The next video drops soon. Until then, stay dangerous.